Understanding the metric system is absolutely essential for navigating science, global travel, and many other everyday activities. It's the international standard for measurement. It's time to embrace it. In this video, I'm going to walk through some of the core concepts of the metric system, explore some of the fundamental units of measurement, and provide a few basic tips and tricks to help memorize the different conversions. I'm also going to include the conversion formulas between the metric system and standard units to make it a little easier for you to navigate between the two systems. So, take a deep breath. We're just going to ease into it because really, once you get the hang of it, the metric system is incredibly simple. At the heart of the metric system is a focus on base 10. This means that every unit is built on powers of 10, making conversions incredibly logical and consistent. This differs from many other systems where the numbers seem arbitrary. Once you understand this, you'll realize that all you need is a few basic relationships, and you can apply them everywhere. Let's start with length. The basic unit for measuring length is the meter. You can think of a meter as being a bit longer than a yard, which might be a helpful comparison if you're more familiar with the imperial system. The conversion formula between meters and feet is straightforward. 1 meter equals approximately 3.28 feet. To convert from feet to meters, just divide the number of feet by 3.28. Smaller lengths are measured in centimeters and millimeters. To picture a centimeter, consider the width of your fingernail, which is pretty close to 1 centimeter. A millimeter is even smaller. There are 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter. A useful trick to remember the order of these units is to visualize a ruler. You might recall that a standard school ruler has centimeters marked, with each centimeter broken into smaller millimeter increments. But the beauty of the metric system is how easy it is to convert between these units. Suppose you have 100 centimeters. That's exactly 1 meter. There are no awkward fractions to worry about, just clean, straightforward multiplication or division by 10, 100, 1000, and so on. Now for larger distances, you'll encounter kilometers. The conversion formula here is also simple. 1 kilometer equals about 0.621 miles. To convert kilometers to miles, just multiply by 0.621. When you think about a long distance, such as a 5-kilometer run, is simply 5,000 meters, or about 3.1 miles. To keep these units straight, a good mental exercise is to associate certain activities with them. Walking around your house or down the street, think meters. Traveling by car, you're likely covering kilometers. Visualize guessed it, 3.785 liters. Now, for larger volumes, like the capacity of a jug or a large bottle of soda, think in terms of liters. Now, just as with grams and meters, there are also subunits of volume. Milliliters are a common one, particularly when dealing with liquids in cooking or medicine. If you've ever measured out a small quantity of liquid, you've probably used milliliters without even realizing it. There are 1,000 milliliters in a liter, so if you pour out 250 milliliters of water, that's 1/4 of a liter. When you're cooking, a handy way to keep this in mind is to think of a liter as roughly the volume of a large bottle of soda, while a milliliter is akin to a small sip of water. So, a recipe calling for 500 milliliters of liquid is asking for about half of that soda bottle. Again, the appeal of the metric system is in its simplicity of conversions. Knowing that there are 1,000 milliliters in a liter makes these calculations straightforward. Visualize liquids in your daily life to reinforce this. Trust me, it works. Milk, juice, water, all can be thought of in terms of liters or milliliters, depending on the quantity. Temperature in the metric system is measured in degrees Celsius. This can sometimes be a bit tricky for those accustomed to Fahrenheit, but with some simple landmarks, it becomes fairly intuitive. As I'm sure most of you are aware, water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius and boils at 100 degrees Celsius. This makes temperature feel like a natural and logical scale. Cold things are represented by numbers close to 0, and extremely hot things are represented by numbers well into the hundreds. Now, to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit, the formula is a bit more complicated. Just multiply the temperature in Celsius by 9/5, then add 32. To convert Fahrenheit to Celsius, subtract 32 from the Fahrenheit temperature, then multiply by 5/9. For example, 20 degrees Celsius, fairly common room temperature, is about 68 degrees Fahrenheit. One trick that can help is to think of the Celsius scale in terms of the human experience. Anything below 0 degrees Celsius means ice. Anything above 30 degrees Celsius means it's probably time to head to the beach or at least crank up the AC. It takes some practice, but over time, your mental thermometer will adjust. Now, beyond memorizing individual conversions, there's a deeper understanding of the metric system that comes from appreciating its prefixes. Kilo for 1,000, cent for 100th, milli for 1,000th. These prefixes are consistent across the board. That means the same kilo that help you understand kilometers will also help you with kilograms. Recognizing these prefixes is key to mastering the metric system because they unlock the whole structure. With just a handful of prefixes, you